What is going on today? We got developers who are bringing on a new crypto exchange called the Steamexchange. It's a new crypto project. I am excited to bring to you these developers, the CEO and the president. We've got Neville here, we've got Gary here, and they're going to be in the hot seat, and we're going to be shaking them with all our might, trying to figure out, hey, is this a legit project or what? Like, in a world full of crypto scams, we need to know who are the serious teams, who are the serious projects that we could sink our hard-earned money and time into. If you're new to this channel, my name is Aaron. I'm on a journey to 2 Bitcoin while, helping as many people to their first one. And one of those ways is just to bring good content, good teams to the platform of Cowboys of Crypto. And so I am not your financial advisor. This is never financial advice. I'm just a cowboy with a lizard brain, gorilla arms, and diamond hands, exploring the wild west of cryptocurrency with a whole bunch of other cowboys. If you want to join us, hit the subscribe button down below. Join us in the Telegram, that's the Saloon, or online at cowboysofcrypto.com. It's free, sign up. You get a whole bunch of free stuff there. Now, so the YouTube game right now is crazy. All YouTubers are scammers. These project developers are scammers. Everyone's paying for views and all this kind of nonsense. And what I decided to do was to just get rid of the noise, right? I need to get eye to eye, belly to belly to find out, hey, is a team like worth their salt? I want to interview them. I want to ask them questions. I want to put them in the hot seat and figure out who they are and what they're all about. And so this is your best research opportunity for any project. And so we have the developers of the Steamexchange, a new crypto platform. Their names are Gary and Neville. Welcome to the hot seat.
Hey guys, nice to be here.
It's good to have you boys. You guys are looking handsome, sounding great. Before we get into the Steamexchange, I want to know who you guys are. Gary, you're the CEO of Steamexchange. Maybe we'll start with you. Then Neville, you're the president. We'll finish off with you. But Gary, what's your origin story? Who are you and where are you from?
So, my name is Gary Bard, CEO of Steamexchange. Background-wise, I've always been an entrepreneur. Managed to grow my own business for over 14 years. I'm an avid crypto miner. Fun fact, at the time of its inception, I've actually operated the largest Aeon mining pool in the world out of my basement.
Wow. Cool. So you're a crypto miner, entrepreneur for 14 years. One of the largest crypto mining operations out of your basement. That's some Matrix nerdy stuff right there, man. But I'm sure it makes you a lot of money. So
mining pool.
Oh, mining pool. Okay, got you. Mining pool. That's pretty cool. That's something that I want to get into in the future. So I'll probably ask you some questions regarding that, off screen or whatever. Neville, how about you, man? President, what's your origin story? Where were you before crypto?
Right on. So again, President Neville DeBeccia. Not a president of any specific country. I did make the same joke yesterday, so I just had to repeat it today. I've been in IT my entire career, right? So I got out of school and I jumped right into the deep end. 90% of the organizations I worked for were Fortune 500 companies, ranging from IBM all the way to DHL Express. Fun fact about me, I am a developer myself. I do code smart contracts, and there are a bunch of my contracts floating around BSC for successful projects. I won't name their names, but they are out there. And I was a developer for our own smart contract.
Oh, awesome. So you're a developer, IBM, IT. This is really nice because I sometimes I interview teams who have like the same skill set, and I'm enjoying that it seems like you have the technician and the entrepreneur put together and you two. And so I'm excited to get into this. So let me know, guys, what is Steamexchange? What's this all about? What's the goal here?
So the inception behind it was to create the trust, the credibility, the accountability that is lacking or was lacking on other platforms. We don't want someone to go through what we had to go through. We want to create a safe space for new and seasoned investors alike.
Okay. What did you go through?
So if you recall back in the day,
what's going on? What happened?
This story is
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one. It's a tough one to swallow.
Do you recall something back in a day called Quadriga CX?
I have no idea what that is.
So Quadriga CX was the largest platform in Canada where the supposed CEO had gone into another country for whatever reason and passed away. And it was later discovered that there were no funds in the wallets and everybody essentially lost their money.
Dang. Okay,
Yeah,
so
both Gary and I are both victim to that, my man.
so you're saying there was an exchange and you were part of this exchange, right?
I was a member.
Okay. Did you have a lot of money in there?
Over 10 Bitcoins and 50 ETH at a time.
Oh my god! No, no, no. Okay, so
That's
you had
definitely a financial hit.
10 Bitcoin, 50 Ether, all gone, all vanished. Someone took it all apart. And you had it in an exchange. This is centralized finance, guys, CFI. Okay, so you got an centralized finance, and this is why we always hear not your keys, not your coins. And so there was always like this has always been a lasting problem, and it's the trust and bringing keeping that secure. So you're saying that you guys are developing your own crypto exchange in which, and if people don't know, a crypto exchange is just something like Coinbase, Binance, where you go on and you buy, different coins and you trade and all that kind of stuff. So just so if we got any new people here, and so you're creating something that is trustable. Okay. So no one has to go through that. How? What's the protocol here? What are you doing different?
We have licenses in place. Everybody knows who we are as long as you look it up. We've acquired several licenses. We're still in the process of acquiring some other licenses. Our legal team is handling the new ones. And, the main aspect of things, we're revolutionizing the idea of what is the trust factor here. How do you trust people? We're setting a new gold standard in the industry. So the most basic standard is the human interaction. Now, on other places, you don't have an ability to pick up the phone and call them. You don't have a support desk that you can walk up to. You don't have a brick and mortar location. These fundamental things do not exist in this industry. So our main steps at first are brick and mortar location, so physical location, and a toll-free number. The toll-free number is already existing. You can literally pick up the phone right now and call it.
Okay. Right, exactly, right? So, just to touch on that a little bit. So, our physical locations to bridge the trust is essentially going to facilitate account management, right? If someone wants to come in, they're not comfortable KYCing online, they want to KYC in person, they can walk in, KYC with a real person. The most important factor for us, for our physical locations and bridging the trust is education and knowledge. So through our physical locations and online, we want to facilitate learning. So for us, the number one factor in the crypto ecosphere, or the downside of the crypto ecosphere, is people don't know what they're doing. A lot of people are, tapped on the shoulder by a buddy or a friend or a colleague, a brother, sister, and they're said, hey, go buy, this crypto, right? This is how you buy it. You load up some BNB into Trust Wallet, go to PancakeSwap, and go to town. But that person who's buying didn't look at a chart. They don't know when they're getting in. They don't know what they're getting into, essentially. So what's happening is they're blindly trusting the financial advice of their buddy. So what we want to do is we want to bridge the gap. We want to say, hey, register to Steamexchange, take this test, right? Every member has to take a test, right? And we're going to grade you based on your skill and knowledge level of cryptocurrency. Based on that, we have 3 modules in place. That's going to be the introduction and history of cryptocurrency, what it is, how it came to be, what the current state of cryptocurrency is, what the future has in store for cryptocurrency as far as its technologies, and then all the way up to how blockchains function, what is proof of stake, what is proof of work, right? So you actually understand what's happening when you're trading. The second module is trading itself. So we want people to understand there's different types of trading. There's obviously beginner style, intermediate style, and then advanced, right? So you have your basic swaps, and then you get into like market and limit trading, and then you get into derivative and leverage trading, right? So we want people to understand the differences, how to get into them, and how to succeed by operating within them. And the last and final module for us, which I think is the most important, is technical analysis. So this is where the investor can actually learn how to read a chart. What are they looking at? What are these red and green candles? What is this line, right? Like understanding when to enter and when to exit, right? Knowing that they're not buying at the top and selling at the bottom, right? As people like to make a joke about. So technical analysis in its basic format, start teaching them how to do fib retracements and other, analysis of charts, and then all the way up to teaching them how to set up their own entries and exits. So we want to teach all this, not just online. We want to also teach it in person, because not everyone is capable of learning online, right? And I am going to touch on this a little bit, Gary, but we have a partnership with the University of Waterloo. They're a top tech school in Canada. And within that partnership, we're taking part of their co-op program. So what that co-op program entails is it's kind of like an internship for their students, where they come and work for Steamexchange for an entire semester of their course. And during that time, they're going to develop for Steamexchange. Obviously, they're not going to develop the advanced functions and features because they're not at that skill level yet, but they're going to work with our lead developers, and they're going to give them tasks to work on. And then we literally grade them for the semester, give them our report and our analysis and our feedback, and then submit that data back to the school. But I brought that up because those students, when we interviewed them to join our team, we asked each and every one of them, like, how did COVID impact your learning? Right? Because it was a strategic question, because we are building in-person and online learning, right? So we haven't been in school for a long time, right? I've been out of school for over 10 years, right? So for me, I'm not in the learning scene. So I wanted to learn firsthand, what was like. And majority, I would say 9 out of 10 students said when they had to go online during COVID, they were hit significantly, right? Like they couldn't focus, their attention wasn't there, they were late for everything, right? They were distracted. So definitely for us, it was positive feedback, because we wanted to facilitate in-person learning as well. So through our physical locations, it's going to start in Canada, right? We are from Toronto, so we want to set our roots in Toronto. Our first headquarter in Toronto will facilitate both, account management and in-person learning.
Okay, so you got all this here. You got the Waterloo internship, because people are it's very difficult to learn online, and you've got these 3 modules, right? You've got the basics, history, what is blockchain, what's happening. The second level, which is trading itself, beginner, advanced, and the third one is technical analysis. You got the fib retracements. You got our Scotch RSI. You got all this kind of stuff. All right, fine, but it's all based into a physical location. Here's the first thing that I'm not sure if I like. You having a physical location. Okay. So, and the reason why I don't like that is because Coinbase doesn't have a physical location, and it's the biggest, if not one of the biggest, it's one of the biggest exchanges in the world. So, and I hear what you're saying, right? What I hear is it's easier to learn online, and it provides that customer support. However, when I hear you have a physical location, I hear building costs. I hear employees that have to be there. I hear taxes. I hear my fees going up on the exchange. What do you have to say about that? About my fees going up when you have a physical location?
Here's the deal, right?
So let me put it to you this way: there has been analytics done. There has been a research marketing company hired, and the numbers are staggering. So if I had to put it out of 4, which is the way I keep explaining it to people, so the current market cap of all cryptos combined equals out to 1 out of 4 people. Okay. Another 1 out of 4 people, be that friends, family, whatever have you, try to get into crypto and get essentially scammed. They're not effectively into crypto. The other 2 out of 4, they heard about the good stuff, they heard about the bad stuff, and they're afraid to get in. They don't know where to get in. They don't know who to trust. Those are the people that need to trust. They can't trust an online platform. They need a physical location. Physical location is an all-in-one support center. You can still do all of the education that Neville's saying online. You can access it online via Zoom meetings, no problem. But you have now effective immediately by having a physical location are bridging that trust gap between people who are afraid to come into the market. So if, again, you look at the numbers, if you just get one of these 3 people, you have the capability to double the entire world crypto market cap. That is a huge number of potential.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I hear what you say, right? But what about the fees? Will I see fees go up?
So
I was talking on mute. I'm sorry. So basically, as a business, right? Every organization, depends on their upside, on their revenue, and on their profits, right? Yes, that is very important to us, but it's not as important as building an entire generation of smarter investors. We know that eating at our upside in the beginning, or even after a few years, or 4 years rather, we know that over time, these smarter investors making smarter decisions will equal larger revenue streams for us, right? So immediately the upside is not important. We're humble people. We understand the gap, and we're here to bridge it, right? And that's the deal. And our fees, we're going to be competitively low. That's definitely on the table. But like I said, the more important factor for us is bridging that gap, right? And having that mass adoption of cryptocurrency through learning, right? And I think learning is the most powerful tool.
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're not looking for the quick upside, that not having a physical. You want to, I like what you said. I want to invest in the smarter generation, the next generation of smarter investors, because it is crazy out there. And if we have a whole generation of smarter investors, less scams, more trust, more ability to make more money and then spend on your exchange, that's how you're going to see like a total market wide leveling up of an investor. Is that about right?
That's exactly. About right. So further on to the trust aspect of things, less scams and all of that good stuff, we are actually creating our own blockchain that's going to host our own native coin. Now, in order for you to deploy something on our blockchain, you're going to have to go through a rigorous vetting process, whereas, just to put it in the simplest terms, if you're doing a dog coin, it's not going to happen. You're not going to be listed. We're not going to be letting you go in and do it. It's not going to happen.
I'm going to do cowboy lizard pup, man. Cowboy lizard pup coin.
We like
add a rocket at the end and to the moon, it still won't happen. It has to have utility. So if there's no utility, if our legal team didn't go through it, if we didn't audit you, then and we don't see a use case for your project, we're not putting it on our blockchain. You can't just launch any token on our blockchain. It has to be vetted by us and can only be hosted and put on the blockchain by us. So, Neville, do you have the numbers there for BSC?
It's crazy. So
it's staggering. We did the math. Yeah. It's scary. The math is scary.
The number of projects deployed onto the smart chains that exist today is like 4.3 million smart contracts, right? Yeah. And out of 4.3 million smart contracts, how many of them are actual legitimate projects?
4.2, 4.3. I don't know. 99.9%
is illegitimate, right? You would say?
Yeah. Yeah, right? Illegitimate for sure. Scams.
So we took a modest number, right? We said let's say 10% is legitimate, right? So that I know, right? We're like I said, we're modest people. So we calculated that if each of those like projects or smart contracts generated just $10,000, which is another modest number, right? Because a lot of scams can generate a lot more than $10,000. They raised $33 billion of funding from this black market cryptosphere, right? So, just to touch on what Gary said, so on our blockchain, right, we're not going to have 4.3 million smart contracts deployed. We may in an entire year only have like 10, right? Or maybe have like 15. And that vetting process is not just going to be like a KYC or an audit. Like we want to see business registrations. We want to see your use case, what your business plans are, what your development plans are. We want to see all those details, because if we're going to allow you to launch from our launchpad and our platform, we definitely want to make sure that our consumers and our smarter investors are safe.
Okay, so I got another question here. Why are you launching a blockchain? I know why you want to launch the exchange. Why the blockchain?
We're tired of the dark spaces everywhere, and we're just like, we launched our own token on the BSC space, and we're getting the same questions that you would get from people expecting it to be a pump and dump, whereas we have a utility. So blockchain, and to host our own native coin on it, gives you the ability to dictate what happens on that blockchain. So nobody, again, can come in and put whatever they want and say that something is when it's not it.
Okay. I got another problem here, man. So I would imagine, I've never done this before. I would imagine launching an exchange is extremely difficult. Okay. I would imagine that there's a whole bunch of moving parts, especially with physical location you're trying to get. Dude, trying to buy a physical location is a nightmare sometimes, right? And building, and that's a nightmare. I'm doing it right now. And then to add on to that, that is like a massive project. To add to a whole nother blockchain, in my opinion, as an investor, it seems like your attentions are split. How do I reconcile this in my brain?
So our development team, right? So our development team is split, right? So we have a dedicated team working on the platform, and we have a dedicated team working on the native coin and the blockchain, right? So
Okay.
our project management, like our project roadmap, is split into two, right? So we have the dedicated project for the platform and a dedicated project for the native coin and blockchain. So our resources, when we scaled and we hired, right? So we did do hiring. We had job postings on our LinkedIn and our Indeed. We interviewed like over 400 candidates just from Canada,
Wow.
right? And out of those candidates, we shortlisted it to just 6. Right, and out of those 6, we gave them a rigorous test, and that test would be directly related to their role, and then we onboarded them. So those guys are being split into 2 teams, and they have their own deliverables to work on based on the project map.
Got it. So you've got 3 people on blockchain, 3 people on a exchange.
Correct, and and then plus the students that we hired as well, right? So they're all interchangeable. They're all considered developers. One's not called a blockchain developer. One's not called a platform developer. They're all developers, and they're all working on the project plan, right? And depending on where their expertise lies.
Yeah. So I've had a couple. I had a couple. Let's see. Yeah, I've had a couple interviews with some blockchain developers. And just developing it is hard enough, right? And then it's like to develop a whole blockchain and then to onboard more people, like to get the marketing out there and to make the blockchain more popular. That's a difficult process here. What's the time frame we're talking about here? Do you already have stuff? You already have stuff for your exchange. Do you have stuff for your blockchain? What are we talking about? Time frame.
So Gary, why don't you throw it up on your screen? Can we share something, Aaron? Or
yeah, absolutely.
So, yeah, Gary, why don't you throw it on your screen? So actually, we were in development for the last at least 7.5 months, and that was even before we opened our Telegram.
That up, for sure you guys can see it.
Right. So what we did was we didn't want to just come out the gates, launch a token, and say this is what we're building. Right. We wanted to definitely have something we've worked on, something that functions, right, and then open a Telegram and say let's launch a token. So what you're seeing on the screen now is our stage 1. So our stage 1 was a functional proof of concept. And what it had was we built in Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDT. We had Binance Mainnet and BSC all plugged in to our stage 1 platform. And if you click through them, Gary, you'll see those deposit addresses, they're actual live addresses. So if Gary plugs into BSC scan, you'll see that it's actually from the blockchain.
So this is working right now. This is working.
This is working right now. If we want it to go live tomorrow, you can trade these pairs. So that's there.
It's not live, but it's fully working.
It's not live, but it's fully working. Exactly.
Got it. Right?
Looks great. Just to point something out, right? Other exchanges, they force you to trade from a BEP20 back to a BNB smart chain, and then a native BNB for the ETH chain, right? In reality, you can create a market for whatever you'd like. So I could trade a BNB smart chain directly to BTC. There's no need to go back to a native form of BNB. The only reason they make you do it is because they generate money on transaction fees.
I'm not sure if that's completely true because Binance does it. I just did it today. I could trade my smart chain straight to the exchange.
Yeah, so what he means is that
it passes through other functions where it trades it on the other end, and your trading fees are actually higher.
Oh.
Right. So what Gary's trying to say is that you can actually make the market however you want, right? So when you're developing a platform and you're building from the ground up like we are, right, we can actually create pairs that don't typically exist, right, and have that pool for that pair. So that was what we did for stage 1. Also integrated KYC. So our KYC for stage 1 was North America. And then for stage 2, Gary, you want to flip to stage 2? For stage 2, we expanded on the KYC. So we have now Canada, US, Europe, UK, Australia, and Japan plugged into our KYC module.
And this looks better. I like this look better.
Right. So this is now tying into our color theme. It has our corporate media on it. Like you'll see the logo in the top left corner. It's not the logo you'll see on our website. This is our official Steamexchange Inc. logo, right? So we're slowly moving into our corporate media. So in stage 2, we revamped the UI, and it's going to keep evolving from here, right? So this was the first phase and the first, user interface upgrade. And it's going to keep evolving as we get through stage 3.
Okay.
So
let me get.
No, go ahead.
So go ahead and finish.
No, go ahead. You're good.
Okay, so let me get down to brass tacks here. The best thing that I've heard so far, honest, in my opinion, is this ability to create pairs that don't exist already. To me, that if you're cutting out these like middle transaction exchanges that I have to do on a regular exchange like Binance, and you're cutting that out, you're saving me on fees. Granted, some of these fees are not that a lot, but I don't care. I want these fees shorter. That's why we all love crypto, right? It's because we're trying to cut out these banks and they have fees. So I love that. Give me the rundown of the features that set you apart from these other different exchanges.
Right. So we are a hybrid exchange. So we are a centralized exchange and a decentralized exchange.
How does that work?
We take the best of both worlds.
How? Like, yeah.
Yeah. So basically, so we have our centralized platform, right? So what you just saw, and then in the back end, we have a decentralized platform as well, right? And it's all built into the same front end. So the way that's going to function, or an example how that would function, is say you have a trade, right? You have a significantly large trade. Say you're trying to sell 100 Bitcoin. No market can fill that order in the amount of time the price is going to change, right? You're going to have to cancel your trade and put it in again. So what we did is, and what we're doing and what we're going to implement is, we're going to have algorithms running on our platform in the back end. When you put a trade in, Aaron, say you want to sell 100 Bitcoin, Steamexchange will analyze your trade. It'll see how much we can fill in that time slot, and whatever we can't fill will get pushed into the DEX pools. So the chances of your order filling is higher, and you're canceling less trades and essentially paying less fees, right? So that's just one example.
What happens is you have your fingers in multiple jars, and you can draw from them at the same time.
Right.
And then you have to cancel an order.
Yeah, then you average out the best price between different DEXs and your exchange, right? That's what's happening here.
You're satisfying that order quicker.
Yes, exactly. Yes. I love it. I love that. So, and you know what? This makes sense because this makes sense with your physical location and your mission to make a better or more smarter trader. Because what's happening, in my opinion, right now is that there are these people with a lot of wealth, a lot of very affluent people who are not into crypto because they're old school. They got these old money and they're old school. And so they like to go to a physical location. They want to have their personal, call up on the phone, tell them about their grandpappy and, how their kid colors and stuff like that. And then try to get their business done that way. So when you educate those people, more affluent people, then they're bringing in more money, bigger trades, bigger. Okay, I get it. I get how it kind of all clicks together now.
So here, back in 2010, okay, 2010, my grandma wanted to buy me $100 worth of Bitcoin on a gift card, and she couldn't. Imagine that she could.
Yeah, that's awesome. I totally get it.
If any grandma can walk into a physical location and say, "Help me out! I want to open it."
I get it. I totally get it. It's very and I heard put like that. It's the white glove experience right now, right? Like so, with crypto, you got to figure it all out. You got to it's too much, especially for people who have zero acumen to navigate through their phone. How do they navigate crypto by themselves? So I'm more bought into the physical location now. I'm more bought into that physical aspect. This is why we all wait for. This is the same philosophy of waiting for like Bitcoin ETFs, right? This is the same philosophy. We want more access for some of these, unlock the potential of these dollar amounts in these old school traders. So I get it. What are some other features that set you apart?
So I'll take this one, Gary. So we want to actually implement real tokenomics into our platform. So because we are a hybrid digital asset trading platform, we do want to incorporate true tokenomics into the mix. And what I mean by that is you have other platforms that exist, like centralized platforms that are trying to adopt tokenomics, but they're not successful. And the reason they're not successful is because their infrastructure already exists, right? They already have the way their platform functions. They already have their databases. It's now, I'm not going to say too late. It can still be done, but it's a massive undertaking for them to redesign and try to implement it that way. So the way we're implementing it, so we call existing tokenomics on other platforms V1. and we call ours true tokenomics. So because we're building from the ground up, we can implement these smart chains into our infrastructure and pull data in real time from wallet information on the blockchain. So reflections, burns, auto LP, whatever the token, the smart contract calls for, we can now integrate into our infrastructure and have our database pull that data accurately and in real time.
That's really awesome. I think that's one of the big things that I didn't have a conception on is that, hey, when you buy on BSC, when you buy on Uniswap, they have these tokenomics that have taxes, and you could burn or buy back, add to the LP pool or LP, or all this kind of stuff. Reflections, of course, like you said. But what you're saying is that these centralized exchanges, if they're trading on that stuff, they didn't exist a year ago. and if they did, it wasn't any kind of popular. And if they onboard them onto an centralized exchange now, those tokenomics just don't work. However, with you, it's CeFi 2.0, right? It's true tokenomics on a centralized exchange. I love that. I've never heard this on another centralized finance. Maybe there is, but this is awesome. That's great. This is the evolution
version that does exist. The only version that does exist out there is where they manually give you tokens once a month or once a week, which is false. It's not true, because you get reflections on top of reflections the moment you get the first reflection.
Yeah, of course. That's the smart contract. That's what needs to happen, right? And so I love it. I love it. Anything else?
This is probably as far as we could share without giving out any NDA materials.
This is what? Come on, man. Give me a little teaser. Give me what? You can't say that's it, except we're holding back on some stuff. Give me a hint.
So here's the deal, right? So the problem is that because all this is proprietary, right? It doesn't exist today, or if it does exist, it doesn't exist well. So if we start speaking to things that are in development that we haven't revealed yet, right? It kind of puts us at a disadvantage. So definitely, Aaron, this is not the last time you're going to hear from us. We're definitely going to be back. But I think where we are right now and what we talked about is kind of the functions and features limit to what we can talk about today.
Man of mystery. I love it. And I like that because you've got further development in the future. You got a roadmap that you're following by. If you want to, guys, if you're watching this so far, I think what we've stumbled upon here is the evolution of centralized exchanges. I think we've stumbled upon, it's about time centralized exchanges has their own blockchain. It doesn't make sense that, Coinbase doesn't have their own blockchain, you know what I mean? And the ability to use these DEXs and the hybrid model and the ability to bring on tokenomics. I think that's all like necessary, right? Crypto is always evolving, and this is not the same climate as we were 9 months ago when these guys first with the inception of this first coming out. So that's really awesome. This is really good stuff to hear. Now back to the blockchain. Is there anything left on the blockchain that we haven't covered?
So we talked about it being the launch pad. There are goals with that, right? So it's an upgradable contract, the way we're going to develop it. And what that means is that we can scale it however we want, right? So it's going to start as an internal ecosystem for our platform. It's going to be where all the algorithms are running in real time to determine, what to do with the trade. But in the future, we want it to be the blockchain of choice. So as we start vetting these projects, we were hoping that more projects that are legitimate, that have proper use cases, that are revolutionary, that's going to disrupt the space, right? And that's the key word, is this disrupt the space. And like how we are, right? We're coming in to disrupt the space. We know that there are good platforms out there, right? But today, none of them no longer disrupt the space. And all these projects that are coming out, they're doing what Platform A and Platform B has already done. So why is Platform C doing the same thing, right? Yeah. So we're here to disrupt the space. And the projects that we want to list on our blockchain or launch from our blockchain needs to disrupt the space. So we're hoping that Steamexchange becomes a breeding ground for innovation. Just like Canada has become, right?
Essentially what he's saying is if you have the chance to put yourself somewhere that's going to scream legitimacy versus put yourself on the BSC space, where would you go?
Yeah. Yeah. And you want to add the level of credibility to these projects and vice versa, of course. So I want to zoom out here as we close out this interview. You said you want to disrupt the space. Give me the ultimate vision here. What are you guys trying to accomplish? Give me the 50,000 foot vision, pie in the sky. What are you trying to accomplish with all of this?
So essentially, we want you to be able to accomplish anything you need to accomplish in digital asset trading all in one house. I'll give you an example. We have an admin in our Telegram my boy Troy, so shout out to him, I guess. But he uses like 7 tools or 7 apps to accomplish his daily trading. So every day he's flipping through 7 different apps to accomplish the same thing. Why, right? Why would he have to do that when he can do it all in one house? So we want Steamexchange to become the new home, right? We want, when you use Steamexchange, it's like your new home for your digital asset trading needs.
That would save you a lot of fees in its own.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially the analytics. I want to see some analytics tools that are like not crazy expensive. They're going to run me into the ground. I got to pay for 3, 4, 5 different apps for just some good analytics and stuff like that. So it's definitely needed. Okay, so is there anything left that you haven't covered that's just like a fire in your belly that you want to just bring out?
Now?
I mean, it depends when this video is going to go live, but I mean, we may have already announced it by then.
Let me give him a teaser. Let me tell him. I'm not going to go into detail, but just imagine you could do a trade without connecting your wallet.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
How that didn't happen? What does that mean?
So
you need your wallet.
It means you're not at risk.
He's not impressed. He's just confused because we didn't give him any details. But
I'm
essentially, yeah. So
the way it would work, when you connect your wallet, you're always at risk.
Yeah. Yes.
So what if you don't have to connect it?
Then you can't trade because it's in my wallet.
Who says?
So what if our security infrastructure is so strong that you don't need to actually connect your wallet to trade?
Well, then you're at 100%. I'll give you a story. Just recently, so I met a guy, and me personally, I was trying to buy some NFTs, and I was so hype on this NFT, right? This particular NFT. I'm like, I just need to get it, and then I missed the window. I was so bummed, and the team DM'd me. And they said, hey, we got this last opening for NFTs. Connect your wallet here. I'm like, no problem. I hit connect. I'm like, what the frick am I doing? I'm a moron. And so I quickly clicked off of it. And luckily my computer was slow or something like that. It didn't connect or whatever. And so I definitely did not want to do that. But I have no idea. Like you're talking way Matrix level, big brain stuff.
State of the art, baby. State of the art. So that's the thing, right? So what we're trying to do here is like I mentioned, disrupt the space, right? Not ask the consumer or the investor to do things they don't have to do, right? And connecting your wallet every time you need to trade is one of those things, right? So there is a third exchange, is what Gary's trying to hint at, that we're integrating into our backend. So we have our centralized, our decentralized, and then we have this third exchange, which we haven't revealed yet. We haven't revealed fully. There are other things coming in our roadmap, again, that we haven't revealed. But like I mentioned, Aaron, brother, this is not the last time we're gonna be speaking. I can promise that.
I love it, guys. I love it. So if you're watching so far, I've got a lizard brain, okay? These guys are big brain. I'm a lizard brain, dude. I don't understand, but I do like the end goal, right? The end using goal. I kind of get that. I don't want to be scared. I want as little ability to scam my little lizard brain as possible. And I think it's better for the wider community. Hey guys, I got one last question for you, and that's why should we be investing in you amongst a whole bunch of other stuff? But before we get there, if you're watching this video so far, I just want to thank you for, watching this long. I hope you had the most got the most information that you could possibly get, hopefully even more than like what a website would tell you. No doubt their website's good, but you get the feel for these guys, these entrepreneurs, these guys. I get a good vibe that they know what they're talking about. They've done their due diligence. They're putting in the hours and the days and the sleepless nights into this project. This ain't no scam. This ain't none of that going on here. And so I really get a good feel from these guys. Be sure to check out their stuff in the links in the description. Check all them out there. All right. Gary, Neville, I'm going to let you guys answer this last question and we'll be out here. Why should I or someone watching this video invest in Steamexchange, in the native token, in the blockchain? Why should we be excited about it?
Transparency is key. We both know what it feels like to get screwed over. Personally, on a big level, I know how it feels like to be screwed over when you're being forced into financial distress. We share our licenses. You guys can go and verify our licenses online. We basically got audited by the government.
That's
so
awesome.
It's all there. It's all out in the public eye. Personally, been doxxed since 2018. I did a whole YouTube channel for basically anyone that wants to know how to mine, on how to build computers with zero knowledge, where to get the program, how to set it up from the ground all the way up to it working. So I've been around.
Awesome. Awesome.
And
Very transparent.
For me, my answer is a little bit more sentimental. Like for me, what we're doing here and the unique position that we're in, our community and any investors coming in, whether you are investing or not, you're also in an equal, unique position, right? You get to see a platform like ours being developed from the ground up, right? You get to join us on our journey. You get to see us make our mistakes, see us hit our hurdles, whatever red tape we run into, how we've overcome them, our triumphs and our milestones, right? And we're sharing that with the community and the people that are watching, right? So whether you're in it for the journey or you're in it on the sidelines, like you're with us along the way. And that's a special, special relationship, right? Like we always see our community as our family. And the reason is the same happiness I get talking to my wife about Steamexchange, like is the same happiness I get talking to my community about it, right? So that's where I am on that.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. And it's going to be a wild ride, and you've already done so much already. And like you teased on me, there's so much more to come. Guys, check them out. Hop in their channels. All the links are in the description below. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Guys, don't overthink things. Get into good projects, right? Lizard brains, gorilla arms, diamond hands. We're all going to the moon. Cowboys ride together. Hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.